dear aspirants, to start with today's news. Sanskrit as official language as Ambedkar Sambat. This comes under GS2, Function and Responsibility of Unions and States. For prelims, Article 343 of Indian Constitution states that official language of the Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script. According to 345 article, a state legislature may adopt one or more of the state official language, including Hindi, like the languages or languages to be used for all or some of the state's official purposes. And in 1950, actually, originally there was only 14 languages in constitution. In 1967, Sindhi language was added through 21st Amendment Act, and in 1992, by 71st Amendment Act, Kongani, Manipuri and Nepali was added, and in 2003, Bodo, Dogri, Maithili and Santali was added through 92nd Amendment Act, and in 2011, Oriya was changed to Odia by 96th Amendment Act. This is very important. This is the history of how the language list is extended in the schedule. And the regional languages means constitution does not provide for the official language of state, but it says that state legislature may adopt one or more of the languages belonging to the state or Hindi as the official language. Until then, English will continue as the official language of that state. See, there is no compulsion for the state to choose the language from the 8th schedule. For the time being, English should remain as the communication language between union and state and between various states. Any two or more states are free to agree to use Hindi for communication between themselves. Okay. And then the Official Language Act 1963 says that English should be the communication language between Union and non-Hindi states, and communication between Hindi and non-Hindi states, if done in Hindi, then it must be accompanied by the English translation also. If a demand is made to the president that and if he is satisfied that if a proportion of a population of the state wish to use any language spoken by them to be recognized by the state, then he direct them to recognize that as an official language of the state. So, Constitution says that Parliament by law can provide for the language of Supreme Court proceeding and language of Union laws. Currently, the language of Supreme Court proceeding is English only. As per the provision of Official Language Act 1963, the Hindi translation of Act, Ordinance, Orders, Regulation, Bylaws published under the authority must be considered as the authoritative text. Any bill introduced in the Parliament must be accompanied in the Hindi translation. The Act also provides for Hindi translation of State Act or Ordinance in specific case. Governor of a state, by seeking previous consent of the President, can authorize the use of Hindi or any other official language of the states. However, it must be noted that with respect to the judgment, degrees, the orders of High Court can be pronounced in English only. Genome sequencing and the Genome India project. See, this comes under GS3 biotechnology. Genome sequencing is the process that involves deciphering the order of base pair of an individual. Deciphering means reading of a genome. Cost of sequencing, it will differ based on the method how we employed in the reading. And then why it is necessity for genome sequencing means actually first it was sequenced in 2003 that create a perspective and a link between disease and the unique genetic makeup. Nearly 10,000 diseases including cystic fibrosis, thalassemia, that is also result of single gene malfunctioning. So while gene may render some insensitives to certain drugs, genome sequencing has shown that cancer too can be understood from viewpoint of genetics. Okay, and India effort towards genome sequencing. Center for Scientific and Industrial Research have done the whole genome sequencing for novel coronavirus, and India Gen Genome Project was undertaken by CSIR, which is implemented by CSIR Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, Delhi. Okay, the objective is to enable genetic epidemiology and develop public health technology application using population genome data. And this has enabled benchmarking and scalability of genome sequencing and computational analysis at the population scale. The ability to decode the genetic blueprint of human through whole genome sequencing will be the major driver for biomedical science. India Gen program aimed to undertake whole genome sequencing of thousands of individuals presenting diverse ethnic group from India. Temperature anomalies. So thermal anomaly, this comes under GS1 climate change. Under normal circumstance, if the temperature decreases from equator towards the pole and each latitude has its own temperature. Other factor like altitude, distribution of land and water, prevailing wind condition, ocean current also affect the temperature of place. As a result, there is a difference between the mean temperature of any place and mean temperature of its parallel. That is called temperature anomaly or thermal anomaly. So more land areas located in northern hemisphere and more water area in the southern hemisphere. So the largest anomaly are found in northern hemisphere compared to the southern hemisphere. When the temperature of a place is less than expected temperature of latitude, it is said to be negative anomaly. Contrary, if a place is more than expected temperature, then it is said to be a positive anomaly. So horizontal distribution of temperature is known as isotherms. Isotherm is an imaginary line joining places having equal temperature. Isotherms run almost parallel to latitude because same amount of insolation is received and same temperature is experienced by almost all points. Vertical distribution, when within troposphere temperature decreases with height at the rate of 1 degree Celsius per 165 meters, that is called normal lapse rate. The atmosphere is mainly heated from below by the terrestrial radiations. Okay. Thank you. If you have any doubts, feel free to contact this number.